What's up, everybody? I am Jesse, or GameOverJesse as some of y'all may know me, and here with me, as always, is our co-host, Daniel, and a special guest with us again, Holly Wolf, who has her own YouTube channel. How many people know you, Holly?
2.
No, how many people know you?
Oh, how many people know me? I was like, I don't really know. I couldn't answer that. How many?
People.
Yes.
You guys. My YouTube channels, Holly Wolf TV, or all my socials are Holly T Wolf. So that's how you can get to know me.
All right.
Oh, that's good.
Alright, so we are here to discuss the top 5 confirmed Zelda theories. These are not fan theories, although they started out as just fan theories that could easily be disproven or may not happen, such as everyone's debate on where Breath of the Wild takes place on the timeline. No, we are going to be discussing Zelda theories that Nintendo, whether it be Miyamoto or Aonuma, whoever else working at Nintendo, has confirmed themselves are true, such as our first Zelda theory, the hero shade in Twilight Princess being Link from Ocarina of Time. And to add on to this, not only is it the same Link from Ocarina of Time, the hero of time, but that Link is also the great, however many greats, grandfather of Link from Twilight Princess. This is something that may be hinted at in the game, but isn't necessarily confirmed. But thanks to Hyrule Historia, interviews with Miyamoto and Aonuma, especially during the re-release of Twilight Princess HD on the Wii U, have confirmed themselves that this is true. So what are your guys' thoughts on this theory? When you were playing through the game, did you think there was that connection to Link from Ocarina of Time? Some people thought it was there, but then some people thought, well, Link from Ocarina of Time couldn't turn into a wolf, so that doesn't make any sense. Why would he do the hero shade? But then...
Yeah, but if you're a ghost, I mean, he's dead. So you can do anything when you're dead, man.
Yeah,
if you believe.
I think some other arguments against it was that... this is kind of funny because people also use this in support of the Link is dead theory, but they would say, well, Link dies, like the hero of time dies in Majora's Mask. So the skeleton in Twilight Princess is an adult skeleton. There's no way the child skeleton could turn into an adult skeleton. So people would use that as a way to say, no, that's not Link from Ocarina of Time. Other people would say that the size of the hero shade, the skeleton itself, is much larger than Link's typical size. So,
yeah, but he's dead.
Yeah. So, like, there's been a lot of people that have put out their own ideas and thoughts on how to disprove this theory, but Nintendo themselves has come out and said, yes, that is Link from Ocarina of Time. Yes, the hero of Twilight, or hero of Light, however you want to call him, is in fact the descendant of the hero of time. So it's kind of 2 in 1 there. So what are your guys' thoughts on this when you were playing through the game? Did you think that was something that popped up, or did you think it was something interesting, cool? Did you find it out long after you played the game? So give us your story on this. Starting with you, Holly.
I can't even remember if I thought of that while playing Twilight
this was like
Princess
12
through.
years ago now.
Yeah, I'm like, did I know? Did I not? I don't think I knew. I can't remember, honestly, but I do remember, like, when I think when I started, like, watching Zelda theory videos about it and stuff, I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like, that's really, really awesome. So I'm about that. I think it's a great move on their part. And it also brings, like, a lot of, like, sorrow to Link, right? It's just kind of sad. You're like, oh, my heart.
He dies.
Oh, hero shade.
He's dead.
Yeah, so it's some deep stuff right there, so I liked it.
There is speculation that you find his grave close to Hyrule Castle. So,
no.
But what about you, Daniel? What are your thoughts on this theory? Was it something that you picked up on while playing through the game, or was it something you found out later on?
If my memory serves me, because again, this was 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was just a wee teenager. I'm pretty sure that I suspected it was something like that, or a previous Link. But I didn't know for sure, obviously, till it was confirmed. And then I was like, oh. But usually my thought is like, hey, this is a cool idea. This is a really cool theory. It's probably not true because Nintendo doesn't do that. So, but I don't know, like, this was around the time when I was really just starting to get into Zelda theories as well. So, like, this was about when I first started thinking about, like, things like the timeline being important in any way, or the split timeline existing, because I was one of those crazy theorists on, like, forums and stuff. And I had a wall covered in Post-it notes, you know, and stuff like that. So it was just like you know, that there's that meme where the guy is like from like It's Always Sunny, and he's like pointing up, and there's all the red lines and stuff. That was me about the Zelda timeline. But yeah, so I think I just suspected that was the case, but I didn't know for sure, and I just was like, it's a cool idea, but Nintendo won't go for it because they're Nintendo.
Yeah.
They don't know how cool of an idea they have until it's gone. So, but then it was true. So that makes me happy. It does add some more depth to Hero of Time.
Yeah.
Link, because you know he's one of the few Links where we get multiple games with him, and he's like culturally one of the most relevant Links. Like you talked to someone about Zelda, and that's at least maybe not now, but at the time, especially. Ocarina of Time Link was the one that they would think of, right? So I like the idea of adding depth to his character, how he often in other games he is the hero that people talk about in game lore as well. So yeah, like in Wind Waker especially, they really talk about the Hero of Time a lot. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. I'm gonna have myself another lozenge for my dying.
My thought, I don't think I played through the game, especially the first time, thinking it was the Hero of Time. I think that was something that I picked up on like a separate playthrough, like digging into the story and looking online and stuff. But after I seen it, I thought it was interesting, but I didn't know if it was like, oh, that's something that's interesting. So as you mentioned, Nintendo's not going to do it because often there are really cool fan theories that everything points to them being right, but you know, if Nintendo doesn't confirm it, or something like Hyrule History or whatever doesn't confirm it, then it's hard to actually say whether or not it is. But Nintendo not only came out and said this was the case, but Hyrule Historia also says this is true. So if you have, you know, the people that made the game saying yes, then yeah. So our second is, this is kind of an amalgamation, I guess, is that the right word, of a bunch of different ones, because it's essentially the dream worlds or parallel worlds from Zelda games. Not all of them, but some of them have been confirmed by Nintendo to be real physical locations. A big one is Termina during the release of Majora's Mask 3D. Obviously everyone thought Termina is just like Dream World, doesn't really exist, just parallel dimension, Link falls asleep, does whatever.
Purgatory, because he's dead, right?
Yes, that's the theory. So, during Majora's Mask 3D, despite what Hyrule Historia says, Aonuma, the person who created the game, says that yes, it is a physical place located next to Hyrule. But we've explained that in a few videos before. What brought this to the list was, so Lorulian Historian, who is known for working with different Zelda YouTube people like Zeltic, HMK, Dr. Wily, McIntyre, a bunch of people.
He's known for being an awesome guy, by the way.
Yes, he's helped on several scripts for our channel as well. And then we also have the one who brought this up. And I think even Fwes, Fwes, was the initials on the old Discord. So they were all conversating, and we were trying to come up with a theory that is confirmed to be true that people thought, and this was basically what we ended up with, because in Phantom Hourglass, much like Link's Awakening, at the end of the game, Link wakes up, poof, it was all a dream. Daniel is frozen again, so now you're back. There you are. Okay, so Link wakes up at the end of the game or whatever, Tetra's there, is like, hey, what's going on? And the game leads you to believe that the world was fake, essentially, like it was created or whatever, and it wasn't really real. But in Spirit Tracks, you have the great-great-whatever grandson, or maybe it's just the grandson of Linebeck, who is the character from Phantom Hourglass. And it's like, if that world didn't exist, then how does a character from that world have a grandson alive? No, I think he is actually in. Let me look that up really quick. So he either has a grandson in Spirit Tracks, or he himself is in Spirit Tracks.
No, it is his grandson. So it's like Linebeck the Third.
Yes.
And Linebeck, OG Linebeck, his grave is there in New Hyrule as well.
Yeah.
And at the end of Phantom Hourglass, after the reveal that it's like, oh, was this a dream? What happened? We were gone for 10 minutes, even though it was 36 hours of playtime.
Yeah.
And then you actually see Linebeck's ship sailing off as well.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, shades of Link's Awakening all over again.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Another thing that goes with this is in Link's Awakening. As you mentioned, that's a callback to Link's Awakening. At the end of that game, if you get the true ending, what's it, Meryl? True. What's her name?
Marin?
Marin, yes, Marin. I said Meryl. Who's Meryl?
Meryl is a Pokemon.
So Marin, at the end of Link's Awakening, during the game, she mentions that she wants to, like, be free or whatever, and then at the end of the game, you see her flying away. Like, there's a sequel that, like, that's flying away, and then it takes her shape or something. So, yeah, you basically see her character, like, flying away. And it's the same thing with, like, how is Linebeck sailing away? How's his grandson exist if this was all a dream? The same thing happens, Cohelant Island in Link's Awakening disappears. But the conclusion that I came to is these are all deities and gods, goddesses that are creating these worlds. So in Link's Awakening, it was the ocean. What was it? Not the ocean.
The Windfish.
Yeah, the Windfish. The Ocean King was.
Ocean King was Phantom Hourglass.
Yeah. Okay. So
some people think they're one and the same, but they're not.
So my conclusion to this is in all these deities. To Hyrule, Cohelant Island may seem like a parallel world. It's in another dimension, but it was created by the Windfish. The Windfish is a god or deity in the same way that Hylia is a god, or Hylia is the goddess that she created the three goddesses, like Nehru, Din, Farore.
Yeah.
Those three goddesses created Hyrule. So they are deities, not the main deity, like they're not up to where Hylia is, they're like underneath Hylia. So they're the three golden goddesses. They created the Triforce, they created Hyrule, they created all life on Hyrule. This is what Ocarina of Time tells us when the Deku Tree is explaining it to Link. So if they're deities, they can create their own world, their own people, didn't exist before. If they're able to create their own world, then if another deity creates his own world, why does that one have to be fake and not Hyrule? It's the same thing. Like, the Windfish created Cohelant Island in the same way the goddesses created Hyrule. So, where Like the windfish wakes up at the end of the game and then it disappears. Maybe it doesn't disappear. Maybe it's just when the windfish is asleep, that's when the two parallel worlds like connect